Michael freaking Lorenz, man. How we doing today, man?
I'm doing good, Mr. Ellis. How you doing?
Dude, fantastic. Today's a good day. Breathing, woke up alive. Got to see your pretty face, man. It's a great day.
No, you have a pretty face.
Dude,
You
stop.
do. You're the cute guy in this. I don't know what you're talking
Dude,
about.
dude, no, you bring the viewers in, man. We know it.
I'm pretty sure you do. You always talk about, well, I mean, you haven't talked about it on the podcast yet, but dolphin milk has been a staple from you.
April, dude, flashback, man. You guys don't know, Michael Lorenz here streams. Go watch one of those earlier videos, man. Dolphin milk was a big topic.
It was. He said he actually drinks it daily. I don't know how true that
Yeah,
is.
Strong bones doesn't work, apparently. What do you know? The more you learn.
Yeah, you had to experiment. That's how it starts.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of topic, today, special one for you guys. We're talking and kind of interviewing here Michael Lorenz, man. Say hello to the people. I know you're new.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, brother!
What's up, brother? Shout out,
Also
Sketch.
blew up. Yeah, this dude here blew up. A little sketch imitation on TikTok. Shout out.
I did. Over 500,000 views. It's a good little video. I didn't even know I was being recorded, so I think that's why it kind of blew up a little bit.
Yeah, man.
I think I've kind of strayed away from doing all the sketch things though, because people are making fun of me now. So I'm just.
Whenever sketch was big, dude, you did it for a month straight. I bet.
Oh yeah, I did it at work. I did it at dinner. I did it everywhere, and that was my problem.
Yeah.
It started to become me, and I just needed to stop.
Yeah, and then the whole thing went down. And I think you said, "I'm not trying to be stretch. I mean sketch." And I think that's what would have killed it.
Okay, all right. Well, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Dude, we already went over this. Doing good, man. I just want to get the people to know who you are. We did me, and I just want to give them insight on Michael Lorenz. His background and where he comes from, what he has to do in office, and like where his kind of side of stories might come from. Shout out to a little video coming here soon. We talked about college picks this week. We're just gonna see how your insights come from and your side of the scope of this 50-50 here.
Okay, let's get to it.
Sound good? Dude, man, let's do it. So I just want to start at the beginning, man. Let's talk about you growing up. Like, what drawed you to sports? What sports did you play? What was kind of your favorites? Did you lean more on one sport because of particular reasons at all? That's the stuff me and the people want to know.
I started sports. My first sport I played was football. I started at 5 years old. 5, maybe 6. I was really young. At that point in time, you really don't know what you're doing. Your parents kind of just sign you up for things, and you kind of just figure it out as you go, right?
Yeah.
I fell in love with football. I think I fell in love with it because I got to legally hit people, and at the time, it was just me, kind of like an anger management kind of thing. Because I was stronger than everybody. I've been stronger than a lot of people since day one, since birth. So I kind of naturally fell into it. I was good at understanding what the ball was, so they put me on defense to start, and I continued to play it. That's thanks to my dad. I'm glad he got me into that. Then I played, hockey, soccer. I did a little bit of basketball, didn't enjoy it. My next top sport was baseball. I got some offers to go play in college for that, but I decided to take the football route, which I'm glad I did because I don't have any rotator cuffs, so that wouldn't have worked out too well. But my main kind of reason why I did sports, not only for my own enjoyment, but was for my dad. He played on the minor league team for the Boston Bruins for hockey.
Wow.
And that kind of got me to where I wanted to be in sports and be a leader and be an athlete.
Yeah. You said you played football, hockey. Basketball and soccer didn't work out because like no contact type of situation or just a little more too much running. Yeah, I know you've always been the big strong D tackle guy. So I don't know if like the running sports, what was that, like a contact issue or what was that?
No, I don't think it was. I mean, I also did track and I did wrestling. Wrestling's a lot of conditioning. And football.
What did you do in track?
I did 100 meter and I did shot put and discus.
Wow, we see this dude has the acceleration of a D tackle there, man. Everyone quick off the ball, got to be track.
Dude, I ran a 4.7. I don't know. It's 4.67. Sorry. So just.
Hell yeah, man.
I'm faster than you. It's okay.
You're not. But dude, so like going to high school, you were kind of probably phasing out of some sports. Did you play baseball in high school?
Yeah, I did. So my freshman year of high school, I hurt my back. I was deadlifting, and we had baseball tryouts that next week. So me being me, I didn't tell the coaches. I didn't want an excuse. I didn't want them to be, oh, I want you on the team. You're hurt. I understand you have better potential, so we're just going to kind of put you in. I wanted to go into this. Looking back on it, I should have said something, but I didn't. I wore a back brace and a knee brace underneath all my gear, and didn't perform to the kind of standard that they wanted, and I was cut from the team. I wasn't able to play. Um, Sophomore year, I didn't go to tryouts because I was focusing on football. I was a captain at that point, and we kind of were planning for the future in terms of trying to figure out what we need to do to become a playoff contender team, which hasn't been done at that school for years on end. We had optional, optional workouts,
Optional.
player-led meetings.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that ran from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. most days during the summer. So I didn't really want to do anything with that. And at that point, I kind of figured that I wanted to focus more on football. But I did play at the city team for baseball. I set multiple records with home runs. But at the end of my sophomore year is really when I phased baseball out. I phased hockey out. I phased everything out besides football. Because that's where I was getting most of my attention from, and not only that, it's where I had the most fun. That's where I met some of the best people I've ever met and talked to. They were forcing me to be better in the weight room, be better with health wise, and that ultimately made me do better academically. Because I was always, before high school, I wasn't like a dumb kid per se, but I didn't focus on school at all. But then as soon as I got to high school and I needed to kind of fit that hierarchy and find my way above like freshman, sophomore, junior, all that, I needed to climb those ranks quicker than everybody else because I wanted to be a leader in the team. So then I focused more on academics with football, and I became a team tutor, and I was helping everybody out with academics as well.
So, kind of just football focus from sophomore year out.
Yeah, I cut out everything else and just focused straight on football. That's where my heart fell.
Yeah. So you said you were team captain. Freshman year, did you come in kind of like lead? Were you a 4-year varsity player? Did you lead kind of your team from a freshman year, or was it more you kind of fell into that role as people saw you progress?
I wasn't a captain freshman year. Freshman year I was everyone unless you were 6'6", like 215. You weren't playing varsity freshman year. Sophomore year is when I was talking with the coaches, and they had me on varsity all the way up through some workouts to the first game, and then I broke my thumb. And at that point, they said, "Hey, we'd rather put you on JV just so we can have you healthy and 100% later on," which pissed me off beyond belief because I was like, I could play with a broken hand. There's no problem with that. But that's when they made me captain of the JV team, and I was working all with varsity players, going with team meetings, film, all of that, which eventually led me to be a captain on varsity. And what we had a thing called Leadership Council. We had 8 players through the whole team where we met every week, talking about highs and lows, impact players, who needs to be praised, who needs to be punished, who needs to figure things out, and how we can better the team. Which is another reason why I kept playing football. We had a great family atmosphere. There was no, I can't talk to you because it might hurt your feelings. It's, hey, you're my brother. Figure your shit out. So we kept each other accountable.
Yeah, that's a big thing with football is brotherhood. You know, as a captain, I feel like the coach has a vision for what the team needs to be, but as the players, they have to make that culture. As a captain, what were some things that you had to do to get that brotherhood? Like, was it a natural stick, or was there some things you had to do to get that team, clicking as one unit?
For me, it was hard to accept that I was in a leadership role. I've always felt like a leader. Like I always like taking the reins on things. But now having that tag of you're a captain, everyone's looking up to you. I kind of had to mature a little more. It wasn't. I can't goof around and be stupid in class. I can't do all these things because people are looking up to me, whether they're seniors or freshmen. They're going to look up to me. Um, I would say that was the biggest change. There was no more. You're a high schooler. There was, hey, you're a leader. So I would say the biggest difference with me being a captain was everything was 110%. So if you're in practice and we're hitting, I'm hitting you. I'm gonna hit you like you're in a game. If you don't like it, get off the field. I've hit people and they start crying. I'm like, dude, get off my team. I don't need you here. You're not gonna play well. Go ahead. I've had people quit. That was one of the hardest adjustments that people had. Even the coaching staff, they didn't like that I was hitting that hard. Our own players, but whenever you get hit that often and you get used to it, you get hardened, and then you can do that in the game, and there's no backfire. You don't get fatigued. You get up, bounce back, and keep going. Um, and one of the hardest things was finding that fine line of being a leader and being a friend. So you can't be an ass all the time. You have to be constructive and come at it in an angle that's different for every single person. You have to really learn who your players are and who your teammates are, which takes time. And luckily with this sport, you're spending countless hours daily with these people. So it became natural to me to figure out how people work, what they like, what they dislike, how to answer questions. A lot of people need hands-on. Some people, I'm assuming, I could just tell you, hey, run a 5-yard out, and when you get there, chop and leave. Other people, you got to show them how to do it. That's what we had to do, and that say that was the hardest transition to being a captain.
Learning how people learn is a great way to be a leader. You know, you can show by example. You can show by telling. You know, you have to learn the style from the players around you and how to be a great example. And that's a great. I think that shows that you're probably a great captain. Probably been fun to see you on the field there as a leader, just the way you're explaining it. Now, I do want to go back though. You said you were hitting people full blown, and a good coach of mine once said that like brother-in-law, like you can't treat people like brother-in-law on your team. But you're doing a drill, you know, give it full effort. You're not iron sharpens iron. You can't do anything just going half-assed. And I think that's what I see a lot of people do. Like, yeah, that's your buddy right across the thing, and you're not helping each other out if you're just softly hitting the pad. If he's giving you very little resistance, and I think you made a great point there. Like, you gotta hit that person regardless. And like if they're not fit to take that hit, I mean, you're doing nothing good for them by just simply hitting them lightly. Did you ever dial that back any? Like, where when you guys did team best on best, did you dial it back any, or were you full blow the whole time? Kind of like, this is what we need for our team. I'm gonna continue to do this. I know it might be the bad guy side of it, but this is what we need. Is that what you did?
Yeah, I dialed it up when we did team,
Okay.
especially when we had varsity versus JV. I would hit the ever living shit out of these players. One player, I'm not gonna say his name. I don't know if he wants to be mentioned. I hit him. It was a legal hit, clean hit. He ended up flying in the air and tore his quad. I felt terrible. I did. I helped him. I got him onto the cart, got him to go to the hospital, but I couldn't do anything after that. So the next play, I kept hitting. If you can take a hit from me, you're going to be able to take harder hits in the game. And if I don't hit you, somebody's going to hit you 10 times as hard, and you're not going to be ready for it. So I'd rather beat you down in practice, and then you have Wednesday, Thursday to get ready, and then Friday, it's game time, and you're ready. So no, I never really backed down. I've thrown people to the dirt, shoved their face in the mud, and said, get up, we're going again.
Yeah, that's a confidence, you know, going at it against the best. You know, that's something like I can go against our best D lineman, and if in my mind I'm saying, okay, I got him good that rep. In the game, it changes. Like, this guy's not better than the guy just got hit by, or the guy just blocked. I have full confidence to do that. And I think that's what that does there. And you mentioned, you know, you broke your thumb. You know, people get hurt. A lot of football, you tore your buddy's quad. You know, it kind of teaches through you kind of adversity you face during high school football, because you mentioned your thumb, your back. So I just want to see how you kind of dealt with it, moved on. Anything that was like a big speed bump, little speed bump. Just take us through that journey.
Um, yeah, playing D line and O line. I played both ways, freshman and sophomore year. Um, Anyone who's played O line, D line, you break your fingers a lot. I've broken every single finger multiple times. And I started to get to the point where I didn't tell anybody about it. I just taped it up because I was like, hey, you're going to take me out. I can still play. So I would say the fingers and hands wasn't really a big issue. I did hurt my rotator cuffs, and I did have tendonitis in my knees, which kind of limited me with what I could do mobility wise. But I learned to strengthen in the weight room and stretching and practicing that mobility to strengthen around these problem areas, which eventually worked out. I would say I got very lucky throughout my whole football career until my senior year. I didn't have any major injuries. Some people have torn ACLs, broken legs. I did not have any of those until my senior year. I was on D line. I was pass rushing, and they threw a deep ball. The ball was probably 35, 40 yards away from me. So I disengaged from the O line, and I'm running, hopefully to catch up to them, but I'm really just getting there so I can line up and go again. And their guard dove at my knee and tore my meniscus. They watched on replay. There was nobody near me. All I remember in that moment is hearing a pop, and I was on the ground. And then the whole stadium went quiet. Even on the film, I'm not sure if it's up anymore. But as soon as I hit the ground, the whole stadium shut down. I don't know if that's because I was, again, I think I'm a humble guy. I didn't think I was that big of an image. But at that point in time, when everything went quiet, it was like a end of a story, if that makes sense. I continued to play 3 or 4 games after that. Probably shouldn't have. My doctor said not to. But that caused me to needing even more surgery. And that ended my senior year. That was the biggest problem I have ever faced with sports. It sent me to a dark place. What once was my childhood dream of playing college football seemed to cease to exist at that point. This is career ending. You're done. You can barely walk now. And what I did after that to help myself cope, the coaches didn't ask, the players didn't ask. The day of my surgery was a playoff game. And I was taking the pain medicine. I got a wheelchair. And I said, Dad, you're taking me to the game. I'm going to the game. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to be on that sideline. It was about 35 degrees. We were playing at the time Leesville High School. And I was on the sideline coaching people. That's just what I was doing. I was helping out the D-line. I was helping out our ends and our linebackers trying to figure things out. And I skipped ahead a little far, but right when I did this and then I was ruled out and pending surgery, that's exactly what I was doing. I was coaching. I was out there every single day on crutches and with a knee brace, coaching our D-line, helping people take up the position that I was in, because it's a family, it's a team. You can't be selfish. You can't say, oh, woe is me. I'm done. I wanted us to go to the playoffs. I wanted us to win a ring because it really hasn't been done at our school. But yeah, that was the biggest adversity I kind of faced with injuries, which ultimately I think is why I'm done and not playing currently.
I got you. I think how you kind of approached that was as a good leader, kind of took that role as a coach, like you said. And that's what you expect from your leaders, next man up. And you were ready to take on that next role of helping that guy get to the level that, you were at, if as close as possible. It sounds like you were a big impact on your team. And I'm sure that hurt your team. But you being a coach, I'm sure moraled them, rallied them to kind of face that next opponent. Did you guys continue that winning streak in the playoffs without you guys, or did you kind of lose right after that?
We won the first round, and then that day of surgery when I went to the game, that was when it ended. we had one of our star corners. We had two. One of them, for some ungodly reason, his mom made him travel to Missouri to go visit family on a playoff game. No idea why. And then I was hurt. One of our other D linemen, he was hurt. He had a broke leg. He was out. Then our star D end, he was out. So we had so many injuries on the defensive side that there was no stopping their defense or their offense. So we ended up losing that game because we couldn't stop the pass game, and we had no pass rush. So that's where the story ended. I wish it would have went differently. I wish I could have played in that game. I feel like I could have made a difference. But yeah.
Got you. So let's go forward. You know, your season's over, kind of getting ready to graduate. You're injured. Are you still getting contacted by schools at this point? You know, what's kind of next for, you know, are you still trying to play college football at the next level? Did you lose contact with coaches? What was kind of going on in that situation? How was recruiting going?
Yeah, I was talking with App State. UCLA was for baseball. And then I'd walk on play from other people. But App State was kind of where I wanted to go. They had me as an offer, and I was ready to sign it. And when I got injured, the coach called me and was talking to me. He said, "Hey, I still want you on the team. You're out here coaching. I've been talking to your coach. You're still here being a part of the team, and that's what we want at this program." Then a week later, which really ruined everything, I believe he went to take a coaching job at Missouri. So then I was dropped from their recruiting board. Then I was dropped from others' recruiting boards because I was injured. And the last kind of option, which worked out really well, I met you. I had a great time. It really kind of set up who I am now. I walked on at Florida Tech, and again, I quit a couple weeks in because my knee couldn't take it and I needed to focus on school. That's kind of where that ended. If I didn't get injured, would I be at a different program and possibly chasing my childhood dream that I wanted for my whole life? Probably. I'd probably be going, I mean, Aaron Donald, he's the shorter dude in the NFL. I feel like I kind of have that kind of grit, or I would have switched positions. But yeah, I can't go back and dwell on an injury. I love where I'm at now. I have a beautiful life, and we're doing this. So that's where we're at.
No regrets, man. I love that. You mentioned Aaron Donald, and I did want to talk about this. Size, man. You weren't like the 6'4" or 6'2" D tackle monster size. You know, for the people, young guys or not, that are kind of undersized for the position, what would you say to them? Because they're getting underlooked at that underdog story. What would you say?
Give them a reason to look at you. You don't have the size. You gotta beat them in other ways, whether it's footwork, hand technique, speed off the ball, something. So you have to beat them in some other aspect that they don't have. These bigger guys, they can't move as fast as you, and if they can, get the hell out of the way. But no, really, when you're practicing, you don't have the height. I don't have my arms. They're not very long, but I was stronger than everybody. I had better footwork. My hand placement was better than everybody. And if I got my hands on you, you're done. And that's what you guys need to focus on. That's just where it kind of needs to be. I mean, we had a center at Florida Tech. He was shorter. What was he, like 5'10", 5'11"? Maybe even shorter than that.
I think he was about 5'10".
Yeah, and he would manhandle anybody on the field. I've never been manhandled before. He manhandled me.
Different.
Because he focused on hand placement, he focused on footwork, and he killed it in the weight room. If you don't have height, beat him with strength and speed. You don't stop because people are telling you you're too short.
Definitely. No, kind of talking about that work ethic. What did you do in high school? Kind of take your game to the next level. What was it? Working every day, doing some? Was it weight room with the team? What did you do kind of to get that advantage? You know, where your size didn't have that.
I mean, obviously you have your team lifts and team workouts and all that mandatory stuff. The where you get better is outside of that. My dad wasn't too happy, but he had these little landscaping bins that you put your leaves and grass in or whatever and leave them out and they take them. I probably went through 30 or 40 of those, and you kept having to buy new ones. I put them out in the yard acting like they're a lineman, and it's good because they're shorter. They're only about 3.5 feet tall, so I had to get low. And I'd practice my hand technique, and then at nighttime, I'd go into our garage and work out every day. I'd focus on one muscle group, just one, and attack that in every manner. I'd have stretching, I'd have multiple workouts with one muscle group, and I'd do that every single day of the week. And by the time I go back, let's just say calves. By the time I'm back at calves, it's been a week. But I've worked every other part of my body, so I'm constantly building muscle. I'm constantly recovering, and I think that helped me a lot. I wasn't very strong going into high school because I stopped sports for 2 years before going to high school. I was in a bad spot. So my first workout in the weight room, I couldn't bench the bar. I picked it up, dropped it straight on my chest, and saw everyone's face around me. And that's when the flip switch flipped. Yeah, and that's when I really kind of needed to figure my stuff out in the weight room. And that's when I kind of turned into an animal, I would say. I came into the sophomore season benching more than everybody, squatting more than everybody, deadlifting more than anybody. One of my lifts that kind of sucked was power lift or power clean. I wasn't good at it. I never could be good at it. So I just focused on what I was good at, and I'll keep working on that. I would say the biggest part was my strength. That is the reason why I beat people. That is the reason why I continue to do it, or would have continued to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think that's the story. A lot of people, I think they take for granted, kind of like the work that needs to be put in. It's a lot. It's something that you have to be constantly going at day by day. I think your mindset on it was a great approach. You know, kind of focus on the details, your position specific drills and everything, and then going in the weight room when you know that time had to stop, and that shows. I mean, freshman year, like you said, bar, boom, caved right to the chest. I was the same way, and then sophomore year, flip that switch. You're a captain. I mean, you're strongest in the room, and that showed that you continue to improve, and that's a great way to approach it. Now we did this for my podcast, so I thought it was fair we do it for you. If all eyes were on you, all screens got hacked and they're on the podcast and zoomed in on your face, and you got to give a message to everyone who's looking up and listening. What would your message be to these people?
What's your why? Why are you doing this? If your answer is anything other than yourself, you need to stop and switch it. Because if you're not believing in yourself and that you're not doing it for yourself, why are you there? If it's not making you happy, why are you there? You're not going to succeed. And if you do, you're not going to be happy and you're going to have a lot of regret. Now, to be an athlete, you can't be selfish, but you need to be selfish, if that makes sense. Setting aside as much time for yourself to perfect your craft is what you need to do. If that means you don't get to hang out with your friends and you need to get an extra workout in, or you need to go on a run, or you need to say, hey, I'd love to go eat Chick-fil-A with you guys, but I got, chicken and rice at home. I'm on a diet trying to get ready for the season. That's what you need to do. If people don't want to talk to you, don't want to hang out with you outside of that because of your decisions, then they're not the right people to be around you. You want people that are pushing you and are okay with you doing what you want to do to be better. And one of the most important things is what I did, and what is my only regret: don't give up. Don't give up. Because the moment you stop, 99 times out of 100, you're not getting back on that horse. And I guess the reason why I'm a little upset is because where could it have gone? Where could I be now? So just never give up and follow your dreams and what you want to do. And if you fail, you fail. It happens to everybody. Get back up there and try it again. Try a different approach and try a different angle. Try with different people. Just don't give up and stay true to yourself.
great message. If you want something bad enough, you got to be willing to give everything a try. I think there's a great quote that's like, you want it as bad as you want to breathe. Like, if you want something, you got to want it as bad as you want to breathe. And that's, I think, a great message you just gave. So,
Perfect.
thank you for the question, man. I think you killed it. You did. Great to get to know who Michael Lorenz is, his journey, and kind of what brought him here and why we're doing this podcast, dude. It was a great time interviewing you, man.
That's it, man? That's it?
Dude, we deep dived. What do you mean?
Short and sweet. Okay, back to Justin being short or whatever. I don't know what the hell that guy's doing.
Being short.
I really appreciate you asking questions. I really don't get to talk deep to anybody. Most of the reasons because people don't want to hear my shit, but that's just what it is. If you guys are new, there's a subscribe button down below. Comment. We're trying to get more athletes in. I'm actually talking with an Olympic swimmer. I'm trying to get her on here as well. I got some MLB players, got some NFL players, college football players, and all of that. If you have any athletes that you kind of want us to reach out to that are in the realm of kind of what we're doing, let them know in the comments, and we'll try to figure something out. Other than that, like, share, follow, whatever the hell you want to do, and